Hello everyone. Today I will show you how to restore a table without any backup and without any other information except the table name. It is the time when Oracle holds the MySQL 30th anniversary party. Many excellent experts came to Oracle and gave many speeches. This video is based on one of them. The test in this video is also based on the employees sample database. First, we log in to the MySQL instance and enter the employees database. We will use the titles table as the test table, so we check how many rows there are in this table, and then we query the first 10 rows starting with the smallest emp_no and the last 10 rows. Then, we go into the MySQL data folder, switch to the employees folder, and delete the titles.ibd file. We log in the MySQL instance again and query the titles table by full table scanway. We found that though the titles table file already deleted, but we also can query the table in the console because when we query the table, MySQL program first query the InnoDB buffer. Therefore, the InnoDB buffer still has the data of the titles' table. We restart the MySQL instance, reconnect to the MySQL instance to start a new session, and then we query the titles table, which now cannot be queried, and returns the error. Recovery Step 1. If we want to recover data, we need to stop MySQL immediately when we find abnormal situation. Then mount the disk and create a disk image immediately to avoid aggravating the problem. We can use dd command to create the image. Step 2. Extract the pages. We need to extract all the InnoDB pages that can be found from the disk image. We use InnoDB_s to achieve this. After extracting the pages, the result is as follows. After extracting the pages, there are many files in the by_tablespace folder, but which of these files is the one we need? So, I wrote a short shell to find it. We use the for keyword to find each file and use InnoDB_sort to process each pages file and use ibd2sdi to process the files generated by InnoDB_sort. Finally, we get the table name corresponding to each page file. We choose the pages file corresponding to titles IB because the titles IB file has been deleted by us before. After we find the pages file containing the titles table data, we can use the two programs ibd2sdi and sdi2ddl to generate the table definition, like this. Now, we need to extract all the data from this pages file into a JSON file called titled.json using page_explorer program. After extraction, we need to convert this titled.json file into CVS format and then load the CVS file into the employees database through MySQL shell. Don't worry about the number of rows in titled CSV being more than the actual number of rows in the title table because there are some duplicate data in this titled CVS file. Now that we have the table definition and the table data saved in CSV format, everything is easy, right? We mount the disk that we unmounted earlier and start the MySQL service. We log into the MySQL instance through MySQL shell and go into the employees database. First, we disable foreign key checks by executing set foreign_key_checks equals 0 and delete the titles table without the IB file. Then, we import the titles SQL file that we created earlier, which contains the SQL statements to create the title table. Now comes the most critical import step. We switch to JS mode and execute the util importable command to import the title CSV file into the titles table. We will see some error logs, which is why the number of rows in the CVS file is larger than the number of rows in the actual table. After importing the data, we check whether the titles table has been imported successfully and compare it with the previously deleted titles table. There are 3 ways to compare. One is to compare the total number of rows in the titles table, the second is to query the first row of data in the titles table, and the third is to query the last row of data in the titles table. All are correct. We execute set foreign_key_checks equals 1 to enable foreign key checks. Now the database can be used in production environment. Thank you for watching. See you next time.